Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ventonwyn, where today the council have got in contact with us. And the council have said they want Field 26 harvested. So, we've got Sergey and Quentin behind us. We are heading over to Field 26. Hopefully we can get this done in a timely manner. As you can see, we're in the big harvester today, the CR7. The plan the plan is to get this done today as quickly as we possibly can. Probably won't get it all done, so we might be back again tomorrow, because I gotta show Sergey and Quentin. I've gotta lay out their little GPS path that they can follow and probably ignore, probably get into trouble with the other cars on the road. But hopefully they'll follow it mostly. Because this is... I'm probably going to need the two of them running properly today. Because it is quite a long drive from Field 26. Field 26 is also quite a large field. So this could be fun. This could be very fun. As you can see, I'm leading off in the harvester. I should really have beacons on. There we go. We're on the road. We need our beacons on. Is a legal requirement. Just cruising along at 20 miles an hour, more or less, 30 kilometers an hour. 30.7. They're following on at 28 and 29 kilometers an hour. There should be no traffic between us. There is not. Why can I not see the... I can see the wheels of the trailer. Yeah, the header is on the trailer. Good. I do have the clips fixed there. And for those of you... out of character. For those of you who are watching the stream, you'll remember that I said my head tracking was broke because the cable ties that I was using to keep it on died. They snapped in two. They died. Well, one snapped, and I had to cut the other one off because otherwise the clip would have been flapping across my face the entire stream, and I would have got very, very angry with it. I'm testing today using two... I'm not kidding here. 2 bits of Velcro. If that if that fails, I have no idea what Plan C is going to be. So we're driving alongside Field 26 now. That over there, that across there is Field 26. The entrance should be... Is this it here? Is this the field entrance? Yes, it is. So let's get out and let's get our gates open. Back into the harvester, and away we go. I have a feeling Sergey and Quentin will not be doing very well here. I get the distinct feeling. I know that I'm parking up in the trees, but you'll have to deal with that. There we go. There we go. So let's get the header onto this. And we'll make a start on a headland, I think. You can see this is a huge field. Absolutely freaking huge. So let's header on. Let us just try and get it lined up here. Just want to make sure that everything's unfolded. There we go. And let's turn it on and get going. Without any pomp or circumstance here. There we go. So try and get a bit of a headland done so that we can get Sergey and Quentin into the field a bit more easily. They're kind of stuck because they don't know what to do because I've caused problems. I would appear to be chopping straw. Yes. It's this button. This button. There we go. Now we're dropping it. I accidentally had the straw chopper turned on, which not ideal when I want to be getting bales off this field and selling them. Alright, Sergey and Quentin, well, that should be enough to get Sergey and Quentin in now, so let's hop over to Sergey here, get him to stop following the harvester and just guide him in. Now for the first little bit we're going to just get them to sit in the tractors. Well, they've run off already. Brilliant! I don't know where they ran off to, but they've run off somewhere. Quentin has informed me, by the way, since the last time you saw us, that the lawn care company he set up is called RainbowDave Landscaping. So apparently I'm now expected to do more than just lawn care, which is what I thought I was going to do. There's going to be some tree surgery involved as well, and he said he wants the landscaping company to be creating firewood. Good. No extra costs there at all. I mean, there's no chainsaw on the farm. He's also managed to somehow procure a license to go into the forest area of the estate, because that's owned by the council. He's procured a license from the council to send me in there with a chainsaw and chop down the trees in there and create firewood from it. Apparently, like, he's gonna get somebody to transport the wood chips for me, something like that. I don't know how wood chips are created, but apparently they are. I have no idea how firewood's made. But he wants firewood to be made, and he wants it to be sold, which I have no problem with. I have a problem getting the initial funds, which they're going to have to come out of the farm funds. I have no money. One more thing is if I bring up this little overlay that I've created here. There we go. Go away. You can see the farm is in a bit of debt. 6,000 euro in debt with the bank. I have a feeling Quentin might be getting in contact with the Italians again. That's never good. He's also managed to write up how much exactly we owe the Italians, which I can bring up here. 200,000. Good. I don't think the Italians are going to give us much more than that. So we owe 200,000 euro to the mafia. And we owe another 6,000, pretty much 7,000, to the bank. Good. Good. Quentin, you absolute moron. I have no idea how we're going to get this money, but we're going to have to get it. I think the best course of action is really to hope that we can get enough silage for the biogas guys to, like, turn everything on and let us put it in and buy it off us. Because that's literally all we can do, all I can do right now. The issue there is we're gonna have to sell some crops because the shop wants payment for the time I have the forage harvester they've offered me. Now that's a bit cheeky because they've told me they can't shift the damn thing. So they want payment for something they're willing to give me because they can't sell it. Good. Let's hop into... Yeah, let's get Sergey's tractor here. Still don't know where Sergey's gone. I mean, are they hiding in the trees or something? Well, I'm going to do the first few unloads manually because, frankly, I don't think the harvester's going to fill up these trailers too quickly, and if it does, I can ring Quentin, I guess, and get him down here. What the? Where did they go? What? I don't understand them. I don't understand how they can disappear so quickly. They do this a lot. Like, they turned off their tractors and disappeared. There we go. Let's see how well we're doing. Well, we're doing well. I mean, we've already filled the harvester, so that's not too bad. This is barley we're harvesting today, by the way. And if you didn't already guess, I am planning on baling this field and getting some sort of bale runner. I don't think the bale runner we actually... just going to ring up the shop and tell them they can collect the bale runner we currently have. They're probably going to charge me to... yeah, they're charging me 100 euro to clean it, but that's fine. Okay, so we can get 2 loads of the combine into these trailers. Whoops. Yeah, you. Let's go around this way then, if it's going to be like that. There we go. Let's put the pipe in. And where exactly is this trying to put me? There we go. Let's get going once again. The pipe is in. We're hopefully not chopping straw again. I'm going to keep an eye on the back of the harvester. Eye the merge to make sure we are in fact dropping straw. That is good. And we're... I would say we're making good progress in this field, but I really don't think we are. I think we might have to go a lot faster than we currently are. So let's get this harvester up to full capacity now. It's going as fast as... It's got sensors in. I've got my foot flat to the floor, but there's sensors in the header that are preventing it from going any faster than would... Like, then the header can cope. The header is basically in charge of the harvester. It's saying we're going 10 kilometers an hour. That's as fast as the header can take. We are dropping straw, aren't we? We are, good. I could have just checked out that wing mirror. And I've missed a spot. That'll be fine. Doing well. We're probably going to need to take Sergei's tractor again, though. Because I can't see us getting around a full headland right now. With this, we're not going to get around a full headland. What I'll do is I'll bring up the little overlay that I have here. You can see we're down at the very bottom, field 26 currently, working our way around. This is a very long, very narrow field for the most part. So it is a bit oddly shaped. It's a bit of a kind of a layover from medieval times. This used to be like 6 or 7 fields. I think maybe like 12 or something. And over time they kind of got merged together in a haphazard manner, as tends to happen. And this is the result, is some weird, funky looking, really long, really narrow field, because it was all owned by one family, and over time the family bought fields off each other, and you know the way that it goes. Ooh. Okay, so what happened there, out of character, was the game decided to go 2 frames a second. I'm guessing the autosave mod kicked in. Ooh. Or Farm Sim was just being Farm Sim, I guess. But we are going to have to get another... We're going to have to do a lot of things on this map. I'm hoping Quentin starts hiring more people when we start getting more tractors, so that we can maybe get more work done. Maybe even buy a second harvester. By the way, the Clayson, the shop wanted it back. We returned the Clayson, they charged us for fuel, and they took it back. I might get it back off them though. I might buy it full time, because that was a nice harvester for those smaller fields. I think the CR7 is maybe a bit too big for them. Because this has I think it's a 9 metre header on it, and those fields aren't exactly large. I think it might, if I got this thing into those fields, we'd end up with the weirdest looking windrows in history. The joy of having this instead of the Clayson is we won't have to bring in the windrower now. We don't have to bring in the rake. We can just go along and putting out pipe now so that it's easier to just grab Sergei's tractor, run around the little grass headland we have, and stop up beside the harvester. Forgotten what I was going to say. Completely forgotten what I was going to say. There we go, that's that full. Just reverse back a small bit. There we go. Hop back into Sergei's tractor and put it into first gear. Away we go. Ooh, there it goes again. So we're stealing both tractors basically. We're doing this all manually for the time being. Just because I don't trust Quentin and Sergei to not drive on the crops while I'm doing a headland. I'm probably going to need to get the 2 of them, at least one of them, probably Quentin, because I like this case. Sergei has no idea that it's owned by an American company. I'm pretty sure he'd go insane if he knew this was American based. It's like American, British, and I think maybe Dutch or Italian. In this case, New Holland. He doesn't realise it's basically the same tractor as Quentin has, just in red. And that kind of entertains me, that thought, because, I mean, Sergei thinks this is Soviet. Sergei thinks this is Russian. So I'm probably gonna have to buy him like a Zetor or something just to appease him, despite the fact that Zetor is a very capitalist company. Now, there we go. Just nudge this forward a bit, and we're good. So yeah, going back to RainbowDave Landscaping, yes, Quentin has decided that it is going to be a landscaping and general forestry company, so I don't know what that means. I guess it means I've got to buy a chainsaw now as well as a decent lawnmower. I'm just going to try and fill this trailer a bit more evenly. I guess it means I got to buy a chainsaw as well as a lawnmower, which... the cheapest ones I can find are like £1,000 or €1,000, so that's not going to help. But I guess it's more ways to get income, so it's not all bad. I'm kind of half thinking of like spending some of the farm funds on a small trailer and a skid steer, so that at the very least we can move the grass. I mean, I know I said I'd bring both the tractors down, but I don't think we're going to get that much grass that we're going to need multiple trailers. And if we do, I mean, we can just use the small trailer and do multiple runs. Or get Quentin and Sergei. You know, we can get a couple of small tractors, a couple of old tractors in, and just get them to cart the grass off. We don't need to be spending the maintenance money even on the big tractors for the landscaping company. I don't think it's justifiable. So I'm probably going to end up spending a lot more than I need to on this. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. Question is, how do I get the money in the first place? How does the farm make the money? Because we gotta, you know, we gotta repay our debts, all of them, as well, and that's not exactly going to come cheap. Crop prices are okay at best, and we still, at the end of the day, we still have a farm to run. You know, Quentin wants to expand the farm, which, do you know what? I agree with him on that one. He wants to start buying fields off the council again, because he sold the fields to the council in the first place, and because, I don't know how, but because of like all of his weird gambling habits, he ran the farm into the ground. And now since the accident, I mean, he's kind of bizarrely become a bit more business savvy, despite being completely insane. So I guess if there's one good thing that came out of the accident, it's that Quentin now actually realizes the farm is in a lot of trouble, because it is. I mean, he sold the fields to the council to fund his gambling debts. We used to own this field. This field was in Quentin's family for centuries. But he sold it to the council because he needed money to spend on, I think it was chicken racing he was gambling on. I get a feeling that the accident made him forget about chicken racing, because he did love chicken racing. I didn't even know it was a thing until I met Quentin and he started talking about all the top chickens in the chicken racing scene. I honestly didn't know, but apparently it's a thing. Apparently there's big money gambling on it. I thought all the big money went on horse racing and football. But no, trust the eccentrics to find something weird. They will. Eccentric people will always find something weirder than you can ever imagine to bet money on. So this harvester is getting quite full. The pipe is still out, which is nice. Getting the two tractors down to the yard again is going to be fun, I think, because we're going to have Quentin back driving. We're probably going to actually have to drive Quentin's tractor, because I trust him less than I trust Sergei. And I don't trust Sergey that much. But now we need to get into Quentin's tractor, the New Holland. And I think the best course of action, in fact, is to, just because we're closer to this end, ignore the fact that I'm driving through the trees. Just because the harvester's just over there around that headland, you can just about make it at the top of it over the crest of the hill. We're probably best off going this way and then doing a 3-point turn when we need to get somewhere else. Like when we need to chase it again. So this is probably our best bet to unload. This is probably the way Quentin would definitely have to. He'd drive back to the farm, do a few donuts, and then continue on. Oh dear. I think I'm coming down with a bit of a cold. Good. Had to have a bit of a sneeze. The harvester's unloading nicely. I know you probably shouldn't stand on tractors, but with Quentin and Sergey around, health and safety is the last of my concerns. So that's our grain tank empty. We'll just leave the pipe out because it's a bit easier. And continue our way around. I think that might be the autosave mod kicking in every time that it goes like that. I do apologize, it's just I don't trust FarmSim to not crash when I'm recording. So I've got it set up to save every like 5 minutes. Which is why it lags every 5 or so minutes. I just realised I started this headland halfway down the field. I'm going to have to basically reverse back up to the top so that I can get a good headland for the second one. Because the second headland's just as important. We're only going to do the 2 headlands with this harvester because it's quite large. And even maybe I could get away with 1 headland, but 2 is just to be on the safe side. There we go, that's the first headland complete. So let's raise up the header, turn off the hazard lights, and just reverse our way up. Let's get some drone footage here. So I do have a drone, a little GPS drone. And there we go. Apparently I turned the lights on at some stage. There we go. Maybe I didn't turn the lights on. Maybe Sergey hopped in and turned the lights on to scare me. So our second headland is going to start over here. I think we'll do this from the drone, will we? Let's just get the drone into a better position behind us. There we go. Let's start the second headland with the drone capturing. This is what Quentin got me for my birthday. I don't know why he got it, but he did. It's a cool little thing, but I don't really see the point of it. I mean, it's nice and all, but there's no real point in having the drone because it doesn't really help the farm. It's nice for capturing cool footage like this, but it doesn't really help the farm as such. So this is why the farm is in trouble, is Quentin not only had the gambling addiction, but he buys the most random junk. I mean, it's not, I'm not complaining. I mean, it's nice for you guys to get some drone footage here and, you know, see exactly what's going on. What's really strange is the drone is pretty much silent. I mean, you can't hear it. But it is, I promise you, this is drone footage, and what you're hearing is all of the sound the drone captures. We've got about 60% of the grain tank full now. It looks like we will be having to unload again. I think we'll just do one more unload and then I'll call it a video. Because this drone doesn't have a great battery life. It cost Quentin a lot of money, but it doesn't have great battery life. And the GoPros are starting to get a bit full too, which isn't great. What I'll do is I'll unload into the New Holland, grab the case, and try and get Sergey in to drive the case back up to the farm for us. We'll lead him off in the New Holland. What's strange is he's perfectly fine driving a blue trailer. He just likes red tractors. He is a strange man. He said that one day he hopes to own a Ferrari because it's red like Mother Russia or something like that. It's just strange. Very strange. I think he's currently driving a Lada. I don't know how he got a Lada, but he's driving one. More importantly, I don't know how he has a driving license. I've got a sneaking suspicion he doesn't. So that's our grain tank full. Just reverse back a bit. There we go. And we'll hop into the New Holland again. You know what? It's actually probably just looking at where the case is, or the harvester is. This is probably the best way to go. Is just if the GoPro wants to turn around with my head, that'd be really nice. There we go. If we can do some sort of 3-point turn or spin this around, that'd be lovely. Try not to get into the crops too much, because I would like to harvest as many of them as possible. That should be good. We should be able to spin around completely now. Yep, just about. So let's get down to the harvester. Let's unload it and then bring both the tractors back to the yard, because this is probably going to take a while. I think maybe in the next video I'll just turn on the GoPro and see what happens, I guess. I might try and see if I can get the forage harvester off the shop. But definitely Field 26 needs to finish. We need to finish harvesting this. So we might have a couple of videos where we are in here harvesting, and I know it's going to be a bit repetitive, but at least we're in a new harvester, and at least we've got Sergey and Quentin to keep you guys entertained, because apparently you guys love them. I don't know why, but you do. So what I'll do is I'll stop up here, let the harvester unload, and we'll actually go an entire lap of the field here, just to pick up Sergey on the way back. Apparently he's managed to make it back to his tractor. I hope he has. I still don't know where Quentin is, but Sergey is apparently back in his tractor. 7, almost full here. How's that looking? Just pull forward a bit, try and get more of a level load in. There we go, that's the combine empty. Let's put our tarp over here. There we go. It's one of those automatic ones where you just press a button. What button is it? I can't remember what button it is off the top of my head. I just... I think it might be that green switch, actually. It kicks on the hydraulics and causes a little ram at the back to go along. The case is also hooked up to the same system, so this could be pretty cool. That's just so that in case it rains the next, 3-4 minutes, just so that we don't get the grain ruined. Now I'll unload off camera. I'll just bring the 2 tractors down to the yard with you guys here, because it's quite a long drive, isn't it? Yeah. I think I'll bring the tractors down to the yard off camera as well, just unload them, and then see if I can't get the GPS set up for Sergey and Quentin, so they just need to follow it to the letter, which they won't. They'll forget something, and I know it. So I'm gonna call it here, guys. I'll be back again probably tomorrow. Here on Ventonwyn Estate. The madhouse is going to continue tomorrow, most likely. Oh, I forgot I brought Sergey out of the Sergey's tractor out of the way. You see? Where's... Oh, yeah, there he is. He's hidden in the bushes. You can't quite make him out. So if I hop in here and tell him to just follow New Holland. Can you tell he doesn't really like the New Holland? And I've just noticed there's a slight graphical issue, so I'm just going to do that. There's a slight graphical issue with the Stewart trailers. Now, for those of you who might want these Stewart trailers, just out of character, for those of you who might want these specific Stewart trailers, these are not the ones that are available on FSUK. Pedro Chaps, one of my chat moderators, has actually done a slight edit to these to improve the dirt skins. And he passed it on to me. It's a private edit, I'm afraid, so you'll have to figure out how to do dirt skins yourself if you want the trailers to look like this, or differently, I guess. I believe Simulate has the same ones, so he's got the same. You know, he's got the same kind of addendum to his trailers. They're not public; they are technically private, but there is a public version available. So, is Sergey following me at all? Yes, but very slowly. Hurry up, Sergey. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. I'll leave it by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 15 on Ventonwyn Estates. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And you'll be back next time to see what chaos Quentin and Sergey cause, because that's probably what's going to happen. So until then, stay safe and goodbye. Come on. Sergey's probably gonna cause trouble here, so I'm not gonna stop recording. Sergey has somehow avoided trouble. Miracle. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.